A date schedule has 4 intervals. Each interval has the following program items: a start time, an end time, a day of the week selection, a holiday group selection, and an auto-arm and auto-disarm toggle option. So each date schedule allows you to program up to 4 variations. For example, if an application required that a certain user code would only work during normal business hours, say 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, the required schedule and interval would be programmed as follows. Starting with the first available date schedule 2, interval 1 would be programmed with a start time of 0900 and an end time of 1700, and Monday through Friday toggled on. Notice that the times are programmed using the military standard. The schedule is now programmed. Before this will work, the date schedule must be assigned to the user. See your workbook for information about date schedules. There may be an occasion where a schedule is required to last longer than one day. For example, to activate an output from Monday morning 8 a.m. to Friday afternoon 6 p.m. This would require 2 intervals. The first interval would have a start time of 0800, but no end time. Program the end time as 9999 with Monday toggled on. The second interval will have no start time. Program the start time as 9999, but will have an end time of 1800 with Friday toggled on. The output will activate Monday morning at 8 a.m. and stay active until Friday at 6 p.m. To program a holiday group, enter *8 installer code to get into programming. Select System Area, then scroll to and select Event Scheduling. Then scroll to and select Holiday Schedule. Then scroll and select which holiday group to program from 1 to 4. Initially, the display will be blank because no holiday dates have been entered. Enter the holiday date. Use the scroll keys to scroll through the program dates. To erase a date, press the star key when the date is displayed. To exit, press the pound key. Once a holiday is passed, it will be removed from the holiday group. Program the required holidays in one of the 4 holiday groups, then toggle that holiday group on in an interval. To program automatic arming or disarming, first program a date schedule and select one of the 4 intervals. Program the start time as the time you want to arm or disarm, and program the end time as 1 minute after. For example, if automatic arming was to occur at 6 p.m., program the start time as 1800 and the end time as 1801. Toggle the appropriate days of the week and holiday group, then enable either the automatic arm or automatic disarm toggle option depending on which is to happen at the program time. To program ARM-disarm schedules, enter *8 installer code to get into programming. Select System Area, then scroll to and select Event Scheduling. Then scroll to and select ARM-disarm schedules. Then scroll to and select which ARM-disarm schedule to program, from 1 to 50. Assign a date schedule by entering the 2-digit date schedule number which contains the times for automatic arming or disarming. Then toggle the partition option on for the partitions that will auto-arm or disarm. Scheduling can be used to determine when user codes will operate on each partition. When programming user codes, an access level can be assigned to each, from 1 to 63. Access levels are used to identify groups of users. For example, in a business there may be several warehouse employees. When programming the user codes for these employees, each would be assigned the same access level. In partition programming, you can assign a date schedule to each access level to determine when different groups of users will be able to operate the partition. If date schedule 00 is programmed, the user code for those users will never work. If date schedule 01 is programmed, the user code for those users will always work. If another date schedule is programmed, from 2 to 99, the panel will check that date schedule to determine if the user code for those users will or will not work. 50 addressable smoke detector schedules are available. To program this, first program a date schedule. Make sure to program the end time as 1 minute after the start time. For example, if the test was to be performed at 7 p.m. every day, program the start time as 1900, the end time as 1901, and toggle all of the days of the week on. Next, program the addressable smoke detector test schedule by entering reference number 001402. Scroll to the test schedule from 1 to 50 and select it. Enter the date schedule number and toggle on the appropriate partition. There are several different arming methods available: normal arming with a code, arming with a function key, quick arming, and arming with no entry delay. In all cases, arming can only be performed if all zones are secure and the green ready light is on. If the green ready light is not on, one or more zones are violated. To view the open zones, scroll using the arrow keys. The keypad will display Zone Open on the first line and the label for the zone on the second line. Once all the open zones are secured, the green ready light should be on. Arm the system using a valid user code. The partition will arm and the armed light will come on. The panel can be programmed to display the remaining exit delay time and beep the keypad once per second during the exit time. In all cases, the partition is not actually armed until the exit delay expires. The system can also be armed using the stay or away function keys. Press and hold the stay key for 2 seconds. The partition will arm and the armed light will come on. The panel will arm the partition, but will automatically bypass all interior zones defined to stay away, even if a delay zone is violated during the exit delay. Another way to arm is using the away key. Press and hold the away key for 2 seconds. The partition will arm and the armed light will come on. The keypads will display and beep the exit delay if programmed, and at the end of the exit delay, all zones will be armed, even if a delay zone was not violated during the exit delay. When using the stay and away keys, think of it this way: someone is staying or everyone is going away. People that do not have a valid code for the system can use quick arming. To arm the system, press *0. The system arms as if someone just entered a valid 4-digit user code. For higher security, you can arm the system with the *9 no entry delay command. Press *9 followed by a valid 4-digit user code. The system will arm, but the armed light will be flashing to indicate no entry arming. The panel will count down the exit delay, but will not beep, even if programmed to do so. At the end of the exit delay, the panel will automatically bypass all zones defined to stay away and will remove entry delay from the system. If a multiple partition user code is entered, the partition will not immediately arm. Instead, a menu will appear. The first option is to arm the partition you are at. To arm, either press the star key or press 0 as indicated. In all cases, the star key can be used to select the option displayed on the keypad. The keypad will display and beep the exit delay if programmed to do so. A multiple partition user can also arm other partitions on the system. Enter the multiple partition user code and scroll through the menu. You are given the option to arm the partition you are at or select another partition on the system. Scroll through the available partitions. A letter will appear in the bottom corner of the display indicating the status of the partition: R for ready, A for armed, N for not ready, and an exclamation mark if the partition is in alarm. When you select another partition, the first option presented is to arm it. Press the star key to select the option or press 0 as indicated. The partition will arm and the keypad will display the message Exit Delay in Progress. After about 5 seconds, the keypad will return to the original partition. Scroll to another partition or press the pound key to exit. To disarm a partition from a partition keypad, enter a valid user code. The panel will disarm the partition. To disarm from a global keypad, enter a valid user code. If the user code is assigned to a single partition, the only option you will be given is to disarm that partition. If the user code is assigned to multiple partitions, you will be given the option to global disarm your partitions, or you can scroll to disarm individual partitions. There is no clear answer as to when a global or partition keypad should be used. Perhaps the best choice is to install and assign at least one keypad to each partition. For multiple partition users, disable the Partition Select menu option when programming the user code. This option is found in the Edit User Options menu. Please see the manual and your workbook for more information. Press star 1 to bypass zones. A valid user code may be required before zone bypassing is allowed. The most common bypass function is to manually bypass zones. Scroll to and select Bypass Zones. The keypad will display the first zone assigned to the partition. Use the arrow keys to scroll through the zones. Open zones will have an exclamation mark beside them. Bypass zones a star. To bypass a zone, simply scroll until the zone is displayed on the keypad and press the star key. As mentioned before, a star will appear beside the zone label to indicate the zone is bypassed. Press the star key again to unbypass the zone. When you select Bypassed Open Zones, the keypad will only display zones that are violated. Use the arrow keys to scroll through the open zones and press the star key to bypass them individually. Pressing star 1 when the system is armed provides another function. It will reactivate or turn on all zones defined to stay away. This is an easy way for you to turn on the interior protection at nighttime. Press star 2 to view trouble conditions. Press star 3 to view alarm memory. Alarms that have occurred during or since the last arm period will be displayed. Use the arrow keys to scroll through the list of zones or press the pound key to exit. Function key 3 can be used as a one-touch method for toggling door chime on and off. This can also be done by pressing star 4. Press star 5 master code to program additional user codes. The display will then change to a menu. You have the ability to search for users 3 different ways: by number, by name, and by access card number. Normally, user codes are programmed by number. Scroll to and select User Number Search, then press the star key. Scroll to the user code to be programmed and press the star key to select it, or enter the 4-digit user code number followed by the star key. For example, to program user 500, it would be much faster to simply enter 0500 and press star than trying to scroll to user 500. When the user code is selected, another menu will appear. You will be given the option to program the user code, erase the user, program a user name, program an access card, program an access level, edit the user code options, and program the partition mask. To program the user code, select the Program Code option and enter a 4-digit code. The panel does not check for duplicate codes, so program codes carefully. The DLS3 Windows software has error checking and will flag duplicate codes. To erase a user, select the Erase Data option. To program a user code name, select the Edit Username option. Program a name for the user in the same way you would program zone labels and partition labels. To program an access card for the user, select User Card Number and enter the 7-digit number found on the access card. To program an access level for the user, select Access Level and enter the 2-digit access level for the user, from 1 to 64. For more information on access cards and access levels, please refer to the access control portion of this training package. Many options are programmable by user. Select Edit User Options. The list of options and the function of each can be found in the PC 4020 End User Instruction Manual, Section 2.2. And finally, to program what partition a user will have access to, select the Edit Partition Mask option and toggle the appropriate partitions to Yes. Once you are finished programming a user code, press the pound key to exit and either scroll to the next user code or press pound key to exit. In some cases, you may not know the specific user number for a person. The user name and access card can also be used to find a user. Scroll to and select Username Search. Use the keyboard to select the first letter of the user name to find, where 1 equals ABC, 2 equals DEF, and so on. When the correct letter is displayed, press the arrow keys. The keypad displays only the user names which start with a specified letter. Scroll to the correct user and press the star key to select it. To search for a user by their access card number, scroll to and select User Card Search, then enter the 7-digit card number. Press *6 user code to program user functions. You will be presented with a menu of options. The first option is Quick Arm, where *0 can be used to arm the system. To toggle options between yes and no, press the star key. The next option is Quick Exit. Quick Exit is activated by pressing *0 while the partition is armed. During the next 2 minutes, the panel will allow the user to violate any one delay zone one time, without changing the status of the system. The next option is used to program automatic arming. There are 2 methods for automatic arming, once every day or by schedule. Selecting this option brings up another menu to toggle on or off automatic arming, toggle on or off schedule arming, programming the daily automatic arming time, and toggling on or off the scheduled disarming. The next option is for Keypad Setup. Selecting this option will bring up another menu, allowing you to change the contrast and brightness control. Next is the System Test option. Selecting this will force the panel to do a system test. The panel will light all lights on the keypad, sound the keypad buzzer for 2 seconds, squawk the siren for 2 seconds, test the backup battery, and can also be programmed to report a test signal to the central station. This allows a simple method for the user to ensure their system is operating properly. The next option is the Fire Drill option. The next option is to enable or disable special messages. The special messages this option refers to are those found in installer programming under the Event Messages program item in the system area. Toggle this option to Yes if these extra messages are to be displayed. The next option is User Call-Up. Selecting this item will force the panel to call the downloading computer. The last option is the PC 4216 lamp test. Selecting this option will force the panel to activate all outputs of any PC 4216 module being used in conjunction with the PC 4612, PC 4632, and PC 4664 graphic enunciators. There are 8 *7 commands: *71, *72, *73, through to *78. These are keypad-activated commands, which can be used to activate programmable outputs to perform a variety of functions. *8, followed by the installer code, is used to enter installer programming. Star 9, No Entry Arming, arming the partition with no entry delay, was discussed earlier in the arming section. Star 0, Quick Arm, arming the partition without a user code, was also discussed earlier in the arming section. Pressing Star 0 when the partition is armed provides another function, Quick Exit. Quick Exit was described earlier in the Star 6 User Function section. Remember, Quick Exit must be enabled in the Star 6 menu before it will function. The tone of the keypad buzzer can be adjusted individually by keypad. To do this, press and hold the Star key. The panel will cycle through the different tones. When the desired tone is heard, press the pound key. The Escort 4580 turns any touch-tone telephone, local or remote, into a fully functional keypad with full voice prompting. In addition, it has the ability to control up to 32 Powerline type devices. In this video, we will examine the programming required to control lights. Connect the COM bus to the 4-wire terminal strip on the left, and connect the phone line to the 4-wire terminal strip on the right. The phone line connects to the panel first, then the Escort. The incoming line connects to panel tip and ring. Connect the panel T1 and R1 to the Escort tip and ring. Then connect the Escort T1 and R1 as the return to the phones. The Escort is like a talking keypad, and when it's enrolled, it must be assigned to a partition or as a global module, just like a keypad. Programming the Escort is done using any touch-tone telephone connected to the phone line of the panel. To turn the Escort on, pick up any touch-tone phone on site and press star star star, which is the default Escort phone access code. The Escort says hello and will announce the status of the system. To get into programming, press star 8 followed by the Escort service code, which at default is 4580.
Enter the service code.
The Escort now asks for a section number. All section numbers are 3 digits.
Enter a section number. To exit, press pound.
There are 2 types of programming sections, toggle options and data sections. When programming a data section, the Escort will announce the data programmed. When programming a toggle option, the Escort will announce which options are on. Start by entering section 001 to change the Escort service code.
Section 1 data is 4580. Enter new data.
After the section number is entered, the Escort announces the section number and the data in the section. We'll enter a new service code of 5555.
Data is 5555. Enter a section number.
After the data is entered, the Escort announces the new data, then asks for a new section number. Section 002 is a toggle option section. Enter section 002 and the Escort announces the section number, then announces which options are on.
All options are off.
At default, all options in section 002 are off, and the Escort announces this. Option 01 should be enabled if you are using the built-in Powerline control interface. To do this, press 01. The Escort will re-announce the toggle options, now saying that option 01 is on.
Enter 2-digit options. Option 1 is on. Enter 2-digit options.
We will leave option 2 off so that a user code is not required to access the *5 automation control menu, and we will leave option 3 off for 60 Hz. When you are done programming a toggle option section, press the pound key to exit. The escort will exit and ask for a new section number.
Enter a section number.
Section 003 and 004 are used to select what prompts the escort will provide the end user. Disable the prompts for any functions not being utilized to streamline end user operation. Section 005 and 006 are used to prevent unauthorized escort programming. Section 007 is used for the Powerline control. Sections 10 through 17 are similar to sections 3 and 4. These sections are used to enable or disable the prompts for the 8 *7 commands for each partition. Because the star key is used by some answering machines and phone services as a command key, the *** access code to turn the escort on can be changed to prevent a conflict. For example, to change the code to 12#, enter section 020.
Section 20. Data is ****.
Enter 12#.
Data is 12#. Enter a section number.
In section 21, if option 01 is off, the user will be able to access the escort both locally and remotely. When calling in remotely, a valid user code is required before the escort will grant access. If option 02 is on, the user will also need to enter a valid access code before the escort will grant access locally. Up to 6 words from our library of over 240 words can be programmed for each label, including the ability to say any number from 0 through 999 3 different ways. The labels that can be programmed are as follows: automation item labels, automation mode labels, partition labels, zone labels, and command output labels. To program a label, you must first write down the 3-digit number for each word found in Appendix B of the Escort 4580 manual. For example, to program a partition 1 label main house, main is word 136 and house is word 110. Enter section number 561. The escort will announce the section number and say partition 1.
Section 561. Partition 1.
Enter the numbers 136, then 110. Press the pound key to exit. The escort will announce the new label.
Main house. Enter a section number.
This is the procedure for programming all labels in the system. Enter a section number, for example, section 601 for Zone 1 label. We will program the label as 001, 001, 079, 145, and 054. The first 001 is the ordered number command. The second 001 is the number we want to say. Then 079 for floor, 145 for motion, and 054 for detector. Press the pound key to exit, and the escort will announce the new label, First Floor Motion Detector.
First floor motion detector.
The escort can be used to control up to 32 Powerline carrier devices. To communicate with these devices, you'll need to connect the PSC04 X10 controller using a straight-through phone cord to the escort and plug it into an AC outlet. Plug one end into the PSC04 controller, the other into the phone jack connector on the escort. Straight through is when, if the ends of the cord are side by side, the wires are not reversed. There are several different Powerline controller devices, but we will concentrate on lighting applications in this